my parents are Muslim. I'm not religious, but we didn't have any limitations or any problems with food because we are not religious, so we don't have these limitations. When I was a kid, I did Ramadan. I did the fast in Ramadan, but just as a kid, to be part of the community or something like this, just to be curious about it and to see how it is. After that, I didn't really, like when I grew up and I start to think and to understand things, I didn't do it anymore. Let's say my mother was a very good cooker. She passed away 10 years ago. So mostly I really miss all of her food. Each person feels that his mom's food is the best ever because you get used to it, the taste, the amount of salt maybe or other spices in it. So you are growing like tasting this and loving this because it's your mom's and because it's good. Mainly it's traditional food that I miss because it's hard to prepare and it needs more knowledge, like you take it from your grandmother or your mother or whatever. So mainly I miss this. I think that this traditional food, will disappear in 10, 5, 20, I don't know where, but when, but it will disappear. Young people or young ladies, they don't really do it because it takes a lot of time and, the social life has been changing. People are away from home working. They don't really have time to do such things. They're looking for other dishes to make because it's as well traditional, but it takes less time than the traditional food. And usually you see that the grandmothers or the mothers, they still have these big meals with the whole family. They invite everyone to taste this traditional food because it takes a lot of time to make it. In, let's say, 5 years ago, I had a health problem with my pancreas. So I have to eat food with no fat, up to 5% fat in my food. Yes, it's very hard for me. It was something like end of the world, as they told me, because I never had problem with food. I never was told not to eat this or that. I just like food. And my body wasn't really fat or thin, so for me it has no limitations what to eat or what not. It was very hard for me to find stuff to eat. It's different world. It's something that I'm not used to. It took me something like 2 years to get used to it. Now I don't really feel that I miss something. Sometimes I miss avocado, for example, that have fat in it and it's very tasty, but I miss that. I eat sometimes, but because I love it, but I usually don't. Cheese, pizza, I don't know, stuff like this that it's good food, but you can't do it. So I feel that I'm missing stuff in life. And I can't drink alcohol, like I'm forbidden. I can't drink alcohol, so I stopped drinking. Eating meals with alcohol I still have because it's a very small amount and doesn't really harm, like it's, I don't know, 20 cc for all of the meal. It's nothing, it has special taste in it. I miss a lot of things actually that comes with the alcohol, like food that, tapas or stuff like this, that you don't have it as a meal, but you eat it when you have your drink. I miss that already because I don't really drink, so I stopped eating this. There's no reason to have such a meal when you are not drinking. So mainly in Tel Aviv, I try actually to buy stuff and to prepare things, but you don't really have the time or the energies to do it every day. So I'm trying to have the balance between ordering stuff or eating outside and to cook for my own and for my friends, for my girlfriends. Sometimes I break the rules because it's tasty. let's say hummus, I can't eat hummus. Not the hummus itself, but it's the tuna inside the hummus that has a lot of fat in it. So this is something that I really miss. I have it now. Let's say I was having hummus, let's say twice a month before. In Fridays mainly when you have time to go out and have your breakfast, now I just have it maybe once a year. And it's an appetizer. And actually hummus, it's hummus. I think it's a native plant here in Israel, or in. There is a lot of ways to make hummus. The origin is a plant. It's originally in here in the Mediterranean. When it grows, it has different way of dealing with this. Like preparing food out of hummus is very different. You can make sweets out of hummus. You can use it as young hummus. You can eat it as an appetizer. You can use it as the traditional hummus that we all know in all of the restaurants. You can make falafel out of it. You can use it as another component. It's let's say a good breakfast meal. It makes you full. Let's say half of the day maybe. It's very. It's not fat, but it's full. Like it makes you feel full. It's cheap because it's originally from here, and to make it, it's just boiling it with water, and after this they add some stuff, spices and so on. They do it in different ways, but it's a main meal. You can find hummus in restaurants just for hummus. It's very famous, it's very tasty. They make it with olive oils, maybe with peppers. It has different ways and different tastes each time. It's very local, like for the east side of the Mediterranean, like Syria, Lebanon, and Palestine. I think that it's mainly Lebanese. Because before it was like one huge country, like Syria, Lebanon, and Palestine. It was only maybe one country during the English occupation and so on. So you can find very similarity between food in Palestine and in the north, like Lebanon and Syria. But inside Palestine, you can see that the south of Palestine, they use different stuff. They have different foods, different way of making the same meal, but a different treatment with this food, so they make different stuff. But mainly hummus is very. I think that it's very unique vegetation as well. It's beautiful plant. Like they have flowers, beautiful flowers. It's native. You can find it in mountains as original vegetation. And of course, they raise it as for industry, like for food, for different stuff. Like Israelis are not only Jews, but as the definition of this state, they say that it's a Jewish country. So defining the food falafel as Jewish or as national food, it means that it's a Jewish food, and it's not. And I have problem with this. Like, give credit for the people who invented this tasty food. It's Lebanese or Arabs, let's say, in general. So for me, it's like, it's okay to have, different cuisines and different kitchens and different food. It's okay to have a lot of national food, but don't take advantage of thing that it's not yours. Just give credit for others, because it's matter of culture, it's matter of tradition. It can't be, logic that the Lebanese or the Syrian, that they have also falafel, they took it from Israel. Like they had it hundreds of years, I think, before Israel. So, it's a bit weird, like how, if it's Israeli, so how it comes to Lebanon or to Syria. Like no Syrian, no Lebanese people were in here. So it can't be. It's so obvious. And I have problem with this. Like, let's say there is different traditional Jewish or Israeli kitchens. Okay, so say okay, the North African people, they have this traditional food. The Europeans that came from Germany, Poland, whatever, they are different. So you have different cuisines, different stuff. It can be like 4 or 6, let's say, national meals for Israelis or for Jews, but don't to take advantage of something that it's not yours. I have problem with this.